Looks like we're back. Oh my goodness, what was that all about? Alright, so let's start from the top here, sorta kinda. Alright, welcome back again, everybody. We are back after some technical difficulties. This is Roden again for Eve Station Trading episode 53. Alright, so we were just going over what's going on with Corp. I'm in Spain now, start off with that. I'm in Spain, and this is our first stream in EUTZ, so there's that. And we're gonna go over what's going on with Corp in the last 3 months or so. We got pretty beat up by by our engagements in fraternity, and it was a good learning experience from a market tier person. Don't with compounds making stuff. I'll be honest, Dunk. I haven't done much with the new stuff, because there isn't a whole lot of history behind it yet. So it's kind of tough to make like big money plays on something that's like not even a quarter old. Not even, I'm like not even 3 months. It shouldn't be 3 months old yet. So not even that, So hopefully that's something we can look into in the future. But right now, yeah, right now, like I'm like as a market person, as a buyer and seller of things, I can't in good conscience actually play that yet. There's not enough history. It's not enough. If you're someone who is comfortable with that lack of history though, and want to set the pace, man, hey man, that's all you. That is all you. That is all you if you want to do that. Hey, morning sun, thanks buddy. Yeah, man. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So one of the things I actually wanted to go over is so based on our experiences so far, what have we learned during our hiatus from doing the streams while we were still playing Eve? The biggest thing that I can go over with you guys first is, so we're going to go over some like key points first, because we actually don't have a lot of things to go over as far as previous calls or anything like that, because we don't have any previous calls. Our previous call was like 3 months ago, right? So right now, I want to go over the biggest thing that I learned during my time in null as a market person. What is contracts? Man, like public markets. At least I can only speak for like Immensity and maybe a little bit of the catch region. I did a little bit of plays there, but not so much because I wasn't really too familiar with who's who in the zoo over there in catch. But at least for Immensity, like a region that is, it's not densely populated. All right, so it's one of those like fixer-upper regions when we first got it. I think that's pretty fair to say, fixer-upper region. All right. Contracts are the premier platform for markets. All right. When we first got there, I was kind of in this mode of, hey, I'm going to seed things in the public market. But I learned very quickly. I was like, just people aren't even looking. They aren't even looking there. They aren't looking in the public market at all, because they're still in this mindset of, I'm just gonna get it shipped over. I'm just gonna jump freighter it in, or I'm gonna make the 30+ jumps and bring in some modules in my interceptor. That's what people were doing, man. I mean, so I was sitting on public market buy and sell orders for materials and things like that. Kind of the stuff I normally would do in Cheetah, or even secondary hubs. No. Contracts are a premier platform for markets and services, including like buyback services. All right, that's what I mean. And it's pretty interesting because the stuff that you normally would interact with in Dunk says, are you in the Legacy Voltron Discord Marketplace channel? I may be. I just reset up everything, so that may be something I have to get back into. But obviously for Coalition or Legacy Voltron, like Marketplace is good stuff, right? Actually, I want to talk about a little bit of that in a little bit later. The behavior in Coalition is actually really interesting. It's super interesting, the way they do the markets. Super interesting. It's got a Russian accent, basically. Those markets have a Russian accent. It's great. Um, all right, so buyback services, jump fader services, um, contracts, things that aren't necessarily, at least from my very limited scope of how I understand things to work, it sounds like these are things that aren't very, it's difficult to make them visible because they're interactions that happen between people. Hey, what's up? What's up, Shane? What's going on, man? Um, because these are like big money plays that are happening between people, and you don't really see in the big in the public market. So you, if you're not aware, you may not be aware that uh, these large exchanges are happening. So once I figured out that public market just is isn't this isn't we're not in Jita anymore. Basically, it took about like a week or two for me to for that to really hit me in the face. Like, hey, I'm not in Jita anymore. I started populating the contracts market in immensity. So for a good, I think I can say without exaggeration that for the first 3 weeks or so after realizing that, me and my corp were basically running like the contracts scheme for the region. It was nice. It was nice. It was, not gonna lie, it was nice. However, people eventually catch on. Like, hey, these dudes are just doing contracts, and everybody's buying them up because you can't buy all in the public market. Boom. That's it. Easy money. Easy money. However, doing that type of interaction, you you have to find that balance, right, between we need doctrines versus people who are offering the service of supplying doctrines should get paid versus we should probably do local industry to have a steady supply of these things, all right, of these modules, of these doctrines, of these components, yada yada yada. All right, so that brings me to my next point. Actually, this is probably going to be hopefully I can get some kind of exchanges with you guys. How about you guys' experiences are like concerning this? All right, so with having set the tone for that one, what I want to go over next with you guys is producers versus haulers. So I'm in the hauler team basically on that one. I didn't produce a single thing that I sold, at least. I didn't produce a single thing that I sold while I was in Immensity. Not even like a shield extender. Nothing, nothing. I was the contracts guy. I was pulling in. If you want something brought in to region, and you want it done before downtime, I'm your man. I cost a lot though, but I can get it done. All right. Uh, so I basically ran like the courier contracts racket in Immensity. I had a monopoly of this for like a good, almost like a good month. Like seriously, like a good month, man. It was sweet. So we were filling contracts. I was running the drum freighter like almost nonstop, man. It's crazy. Sharon says, I'm new to the game and want to get to crafting, but also like the idea of flipping items. Yes. Yes. Stick around for this conversation then. Stick around. And so now so mind you, Admiral Albar, what's up, buddy? Hell yeah, let's make some money, man. Fuck, let's make some money. Let's make some money. So now we got this, now we created this paradigm of this basically like a starter region, right? As far as population goes. You got the haulers, the wartime seeders. That's kind of like I kind of like think of myself that way, versus the peacetime producers occupying the same space. What do you guys? Do you guys have any experiences of that? Because for us, all this was happening within Corp and Alliance, mind you, and it was this friendly competition. But there were times where it wasn't really that friendly. but we were all really in the same alliance competing. We were basically producers and seeders and people who were trying to get gear into the space, but at the same time our customer pool is the same, and more people, and it didn't take long for the it didn't take long for those who can supply the gear to start oversupplying. It really didn't, so we started. There was, it wasn't that hot, like maybe 2 weeks after that. You know what I mean? Because everybody was was already figuring out what the racket was, already figuring out where, hey, these guys are just literally just seeding contracts. So for easy mode, and they're the ones that do it, and they're getting paid, and they're getting paid good, because I'm not selling stuff. I'm not selling you the stuff at G to sell. I'm capturing it at G to sell, and now I'm running a drum freighter, and now I'm paying fuel. So I gotta tack that on. You know what I mean? I have to. And it was that kind of interaction with the producers who were trying to, really like sell it for cheap, but they can't. They can't sell it. They can't sell it for cheap because not all the materials are going to come locally from our space. So if it's not coming from our space locally, who do you need to get the stuff in? Guys like me. You're gonna need drum freighter dudes like me, or you can haul it. You're more than welcome to haul it yourself, but you're hauling a lot of M3. So, I'm not sure how that kind of interaction. Like, to be honest, I basically took a break from that gig to kind of give room for the guys to catch up. Not to make it sound like in a bad way, but because I was kind of choking out the opportunities for them. Like drum freighter dudes tend to do that if they're very consistent, because at the end of the day, it's almost as if you're in this environment in nullsec where ISK isn't as important because it's easy to get. I think it's easy to get versus nullsec. Versus highsec. I think it's easy to get money in nullsec a lot easier than lowsec. To some degree, wormhole, because it's a lot more consistent. Or if you're not that, it's a lot easier. The threshold, the SP threshold is a lot lower. Admiral Akbar says, I was moving Fed antimatter from Jita to an active war zone, and I'm barely making a profit. Bro. Yeah, man, because people are moving their own gear. Man. But when you're as deep as we were in Immensity, just to get to the nearest low sec, our planned staging area, it was three mids long, so that takes some fuel. All right, but right now I'm back into doing the drum freighter thing. Still not producing. I refuse to be a producer in Immensity. I refuse. No way. It's too good to be, because you know what? When I stopped doing the drum freighter thing and other people kind of took it on, they just weren't as consistent. So they may have been I'm sure they were charging way less than I was. But from what I'm hearing, a lot of times those contracts just go unfulfilled because they're not doing it. They're doing it like at their leisure. Like when I did it, like I had a business model. That was my job. That was my space job. Like space trucking was my space job. So I took it seriously. As far as being serious in Eve goes, like when the Rodin character's logged in, he's probably running freight. So there's that. Now 3 months later, and Immensity is looking really hot. It's looking much more populated, ready for fights, things like that. I reviewed the market again, and I'm not impressed. It's not. It still looks like Immensity. It still looks like a smattering of public offerings as far as the market, but even the doctrines right now, not really, I'm not. There's a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of the same stuff over and over and over, and they're not necessarily like big doctrines either. So actually, I did have a quick thing on that one as far as seeding contracts. I was noticing this on the contracts, the public regional contracts for Immensity. If you're trying to seed, use contracts as a seeding platform, make sure you actually fill something in the info by user. Otherwise, it just gets lost in that big list of contracts. You know, something that actually, don't try to be cute, but like, you know, putting your doctrine, your fit name in there. Not everybody's gonna know your fit name. All right, not everyone's gonna know that that's what you call your VNIs. Not everyone's gonna know that's how you call your Ferox doctrine. You know, like FAT123, like something that looks serialized. Like, come on, man, come on, keep it simple. Ferox doctrine, Tech 2 fit, boom, something like that. All right. Just fill something in there. Otherwise, people aren't gonna see it. They're just gonna scroll through it like it's nothing, you know, because there's not enough info to actually grab their attention. Also, right now, if you're in Immensity, at least as of early this week, 4GB was the premier location to browse regional contracts. I'm not sure if that's still the case. It's probably DY now, between those two, I imagine. Previous to that, it was AFO, our home station. But AFO basically don't have a lot of shit right now. It just doesn't. At least not for public. Maybe for alliance or corp contracts, but that's not really something I can divulge to you guys. But it's kind of just like the same thing. It's different pricing. All right, I think that's really all I wanted to go over with you guys as far as that. Kind of what we're doing now, what we're doing moving forward from here, you know, as like a marketeer in Immensity. So right now, actually, we're gonna use this to piggyback real quick on what I've been doing most recently. Played Immensity. Now I did a play on Catch in the UQ system. I'm gonna link something to you guys real quick. So this is a screen grab of, it's actually my show notes. Oh, and Routbar says, what are your thoughts on skill injectors? All I'm seeing is the price dropping. We're actually going to go over that. And we've kind of established like a pattern with that as far as the relationship between skill injectors, skill extractors, and Plex. So we're going to go over that kind of quickly when we go through our calls. Alright guys, so this screen grab is basically the things that I seeded in UQ. I'm totally cool talking about it because a lot of this, like 80% of this stuff has already sold. So I'm like, you can't even see it anymore. But if you're just glancing over this, and so mind you, this is Jita sell, like just grab it real quick, just insta buy these items from Jita. So you're capturing it at Jita sell. And I'm selling it at basically the number that's to the right. You know, for example, I bought EM Wardfield 2s for 2.2 mil, selling it for 2.4. Assault damage controls, bought it for 636k in Jita, selling it for 1 mil. Now, mind you, those prices that I'm selling for in UQ, that's just the most competitive pricing at the time. Now, these orders were placed on June 17th, and I'm okay. If you're looking at these margins, like, man, it's a little tight for imports. I'm okay with selling items like these that are in decent volume. Like, yeah, one of the things that I really had to accept is that, at least in the regions that I live in, public markets, the volume isn't like you like something that trades 50 items a day for a module is actually I'd play 50, you know, and usually my threshold back in Jita is like in the hundreds. Like I'm not solely gonna think unless I can sell at least 100 of it. You know, that's not so much the case in your, you know, that's something that you need to be aware of. How does your region actually work? What's the supply and demand picture like for your region? Because everyone's a little different, you know. Like I'm sure in Imperium land it's different. In Legacy land it's different. In, you know, Russian Eve space it's different. I'm sure of it. So it's just identifying the differences. Now, when I move these items, I actually move them, I mean, in all honesty, at no fuel cost for me. Now these items were, it took less than 20, maybe 15,000 M3. So I basically just snuck it in during one of my courier hauls that someone has already paid for as my service. So I'm basically seeding these at no import cost. Just a straight, you know, moving from JITA to UQ. And of the total seed value of 1.4 bill, I think I recovered like 1.1, 1.2 already since the 17th. So it's not bad. It's honestly not bad. I'm probably going to continue seeding UQ. I was looking at DY and I was looking at AFO, which is just next door in Immensity. As far as public market stuff goes, it doesn't look very promising. In all honesty, it doesn't look promising at all. At least from what I've seen so far. Can it develop into something better? Of course. The future could always be better. All right. Dunk says UQ's large volume. Yeah, relative to the surrounding regions, yeah, it's definitely large volume. Maybe I just caught it at a time where things were already bought, so it looked kind of low. But even at the looking at the history, some of the modules barely crack triple digits, if they even do, you know. And a lot of that's probably attributed to contracts, because there's no, you know. Maybe cap rate 200 selling at price. You know what? I did sell some cap items too, but not too many. I'm not sure if there's any consistent plays there, but definitely something worth looking into for sure. Yeah, man. Hopefully the DY market starts to develop a little further. Hopefully the AFO market develops again. 4G is definitely developing as a contracts. As the place to be, the checkout contracts for sure. All right. So if you live in Immensity and you know you're kind of playing in that space or in catch, but you know, but the action's on our side right now. In all honesty, then you kind of just, you know, hopefully the gear that you need gets there soon. All right. Just bear in mind that. The people who tend to see Immensity, at least from my experience, I don't know everybody that does it, but at least from the folks that I've come across, a lot of times they do these like very hurried seeding behavior, like oh, I'm gonna bring in like 30 Feroxes like tomorrow, but then they don't follow up with another load. You know what I mean? I kind of was that guy too, you know, like I can only bring in as much as I'm selling. So with Legacy already getting stuff there, you may be looking at a situation where you have coalition level seeders just ready to pull the trigger if they haven't already. I haven't checked today yet. So there's that. So a lot of things that have potential for some traction in Immensity and in catch. I can't really speak of the combat sense of things because that's just not my wheelhouse, man. You know, I'll get your bullets, I'll get your guns, you know, but as far as getting out there in the fleet to actually participate, I'll be honest, man. Like being a drum fader dude, that takes a lot of time. That eats up a lot of real time. You know, because it's not just jumping place to place to place. It's moving stuff, and then jumping, and then waiting, and then jumping. You know what I mean? It's not like back in the day. That jump fatigue is, it's not much actually in jump freighters because we're bonus for it. But considering that it is possible to rack up jump fatigue even as a jump freighter pilot, that's, it's not idiot proof. Adam Rothbard, so be honest, jump freighter worth it? That's a good question. And when anyone asks me, regardless of what the item is XYZ worth it? Well, what do you mean? How do you identify value? To me, it's not worth it in the sense of I'm going to make money from my jump freighter. To me, it's worth it in the sense that I am saving a lot of time and effort, and that I control the pace of my operations. I don't have to rely on anyone and pay anyone to move my stuff for me, even if it's more convenient for me. I'd rather move it myself. I'd rather have a really good hold of my own operation, because you got producers. It's very common for producers to work hand in hand with jump freighter guys. It's just, even in my own corp, man, even in my own alliance, at least from the people that want to interact with me in that business sense, they'll do it like once or twice, but then they'll realize that it's expensive, and then they don't want to do it anymore. Or they find somebody else, and then they realize, hey, my gear's not here. Hey, man, you gotta gear something up. You gotta, this isn't high sec, So I think a lot of that kind of behavior goes back to they want to get the stuff done cheaply to help the alliance, which I get. Everybody gets that. Which to help the coalition, everybody gets that. But a lot of times they'll just do really bad math and end up selling stuff at a loss. Or maybe not so much ISK loss, but then that took way too long to get done. That took way too much effort to get done, because you wanted to get it done as cheaply as possible and then sell it, and then someone just undercuts you anyway. Who cares? So you might as well outproduce them, to be honest. Might as well get them on the volume end, if at all possible, right? So to me, is it worth it? It's worth it because it's convenient. The ISK, I'm never gonna make back that ISK, man. I'm never gonna make back that ISK because it costs too much. It would literally take years to make back the ISK of a jump freighter. But from a convenience standpoint, I think it's worth it. Dunk's like, JF is worth it as long as you're okay with an account just for sign alts, which I do have. My sign alts double as my trade alts though, so for me it's okay. For me it's okay, because they're all a bunch of trade alts in nullsec at that. So that's a good point though. If you intend to be a single account player, jump freighter is not for you. It is not for you. You can get up here and say, hey, but I got a buddy that can light signals for me. No, fool. No. No. I'm just saying, it only takes one time to mess up a sino for a jump freighter, and it dies, and that's all it is, man. It's one thing if you do a bad sino, even if you do a bad sino for combat capital, that's one thing because it can actually fight. But if you do it for a jump freighter can't defend itself. It can't defend itself. So that's the picture right now. What are our plans for the future as far as what we want? I like your sign up for you. No, man, I like my own signos. even if it's like 3-4 mids deep, I like my own signos. It's cool. Jazz Zoe says, have I lost a jump freighter yet? No. It's really tough to lose a warp drive, a jump drive capable ship in this Citadel environment. It's tough. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's tough. I'm really only vulnerable for like 10 seconds tops. Mashing the dock button. Come on, man. You gotta do something in 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds for something that's got the HP of a jump freighter. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. But yeah, I mean, there's that. I personally have and one of the main reasons I haven't lost one yet, my jump freighters only go like one jump deep into high sec. All the other times, it's just jumping. It's just sino jumping. It doesn't gate. it gets wet at one time to get it to the adjacent high sex station. That's it. Like, I don't do a Marta in a jump freighter. That's dumb. And if you do that, you're more than you're probably gonna get ganked. You're probably gonna get ganked, to be honest, even if you're empty. Morning Sun says, do the set desto autopilot trick. Set desto asilo, jump to sino, hit autopilot. Bro. Okay, man. Why not? See what else we got here. All right, before we get to our calls, do some quick show time, really quick show. So of course, StarTide Industries is recruiting as always. So if you're just do some quick show for my corp recruiters. So who are we, and why should you even consider looking at? So we are StarTide Industries. We are a member corp in New Life Federation Alliance. We live in Immensy. All right. As far as the corp goes, to be honest, we're predominantly industry, but we're getting a lot more into the combat end of things. Not just as line members, but some of the I guess a good way to call them are like small group SIGs that we have, or actually come from our corp. Doug's like, contact Doug Dinkle if you're in the market for citadels or structure modules. Good to go, Dunk. Right, good to go. Do you do those as contracts, or do you do those as public market offerings? Or buybacks. Oh, that's a good one. Some of your people materials. Good. Because in public, you don't see nothing for PI for a reason. Because all that stuff's buyback. All right, so do check us out. If you're an indie type, we definitely do industry. We run the gamut of industry, and I'm probably gonna hurt some feelings here, but like, we're a proper industry corp. Like we mine and stuff, but being a miner doesn't make you an industrialist. Sorry. Being a miner doesn't make you an industrialist. You're on your way to becoming an industrialist. You're if your main focus is mining, then you're a miner. You're not an industrialist. All right, it's one of those things. Yeah, we run the gamut, man. I was like, oh, a place like in PvP rocks. Dude, them rocks are hard, man. Or those rocks are hard, man. But we definitely do like full production line type deals. You know, if that's your thing, like industry at that level, you know, look us up. But if you're into the PvP thing, we can definitely offer within Corp as well. Of course, being aligned, you know, being in the same alliance as YF, as UI Federation, being in Legacy Coalition, where it's hot right now. I think it's honestly worth checking out. Like, not necessarily just us, but other groups that are in that area, in that geographic area. They're probably worth looking into right now if you want to get into it, if you want to get in on the action. Okay. And a few more show times actually. This is actually concerning, I run a market Discord that actually caters to people who have investment ideas and people who have the money that want to support investment ideas. Okay. Admiral Alvarez, I have 2 homeless lure pods that need a home. I'll definitely send your guy an email. You're the best. All right. Good job. One of the things that I like to do is if any of those guys, not necessarily in my Discord, but other people as well, you know, things like you got the Eve Mogul Discord that's out doing things. Like, man, those guys, anything to do with markets and structures and that kind of spectrum, those Eve Mogul guys, man. The Yeti is real, man. The Yeti is so real. The Yeti is so real. Veronica just gets that done. Real quick, guys. Alrighty. So where were we? That was a phone ringing. So I'm actually a real quick sidetrack. So I'm in this apartment in Spain, and it's totally furnished, man. So I've never rented a furnished apartment before. It's nice. We should do like we should do like an apartment tour on one episode. We should do like like a cultural thing, man, like a Spain cultural thing. It's cool. If there's anybody out there in Spain right now, man, I don't know if there's any Spain meetups. I don't know. We should probably do one though. Like in all honesty, we should probably do one. If there's enough players, that is. All right. Where were we? Oh yeah. So shilling for Mogul. All right. Anything to do with structures and markets and in that kind of spectrum, they're the ones to see. All right. But I definitely want to talk about one of the investment opportunities that one of our guys have. So this is a really interesting guy. So his name is Priamus. I'm gonna put his name in chat. You can find him in SEC Lounge under that name and Discord under that name. Eve Mogul Discord at that. Pretty sure he's in SEC Lounge, Eve Mogul. And I'm pretty sure he's in my Discord as well. I mean, it should be. It should be. So I'm just gonna want to highlight one of his how he usually does his investment ideas. So I think right now he's the only one that does this, that has an active in investors supporting him. He runs an LP buyback program. So, but he does it to scale, like a pretty large scale. He works very closely with level 5 blitz runners that generate the LP, and then from there, the LP magic happens. All right. The K man, hey, what's up, man? Looking like you dropped some weight. Oh, thanks, bro. For real, dude. So in Spain, every day is leg and ass day because I don't have a car here. Every day is leg and ass day. Seriously. But the metro is, it'd be more of a hassle to have a car here. Honestly, it'd be more of a hassle to have a car here. Metro's the way to go, man. Public transportation. Love it. Love it. All right, so I don't think he has a market forum entry because he basically picked up another operator's not necessarily idea, but I think he took let's see here. No, I don't think he got it from anybody. No, I don't think so. I think I'm thinking of different. Scratch that. So he does LP buyback, and the way he normally does it is he does collateralized and uncollateralized loans between 3 and 5% interest per month, and he currently is controlling 82 billion in funding to make that go. All right. His usual term is 3 months to allow him the stability of a cash out if absolutely necessary. But he can do it way sooner, like 2 weeks or so. It usually takes for 2/3 of my sell orders to clear. All right, cool. So if you're interested in looking up Primus, do look him up in the SEC Lounge. Do look him up in the Mogul Discord, and at the same time, if you're a person that has an investment idea, some sort of operation that you think it's going to make a lot of money, but you just need some seed money, yeah, look us up too. Look up my market Discord, look up Mogul Discord, SEC Lounge, and a lot of times people are more than willing to support people's projects if it sounds like it makes sense. You're gonna have to sell it that it makes sense. All right, if it does, good to go. Good to go. Caveman says, I really just want to know how much actual keyboard time it takes to offload 82 billion worth of LP. As a person who I never did LP conversions at that scale. Okay, when I had my own operation, I was controlling a bit over 100 billion, pure trading though, pure 1isk wars. I would probably spend maybe I only updated my orders twice in an evening, and that's it. Like because I wake up too early. That's it. Twice in an evening. But it would take me about 20 minutes to do it per cycle. But then you would have the muscle memory eventually to get it done around that time. So 1 hour of game time allowed me to support that kind of operation and be consistent in doing payouts. My payouts were never a hard number. It's always what the yield was for the week. All right, but a lot of these guys that do it now, I think they've learned from my mistake. I'm glad that I was able to actually teach some people on how to kind of do the money management side of things. So I offered way too high. I'll be honest, I offered way too high. I was basically working for free. But some of these guys, they're actually getting paid. I'm glad that they're actually getting paid, because if they're getting paid, that means they can keep going. That means that's going to hopefully motivate other people to do some of these things that are like, I mean, maybe it's just me, but it's one of the last few things that is truly open world about Eve. But, because it takes imagination. It takes some sort of out of the box thinking. A lot of MMOs kind of sell that idea of open world. That's a very common language from selling a game these days, not even just MMOs. Oh, Dunk says, I'm out to a meeting. Thanks for the show. Getting Coalition Discord sweet deals. Will do, Dunk. Will do. Awesome. Alrighty. Yeah, that's it. Oh, we have also one other guy that has an operation coming up. The name should be pretty familiar. It's not quite ready to give the details yet. Hey, Famous, there he is. Hey, yeah, so check it out. So if you guys have any questions, you can totally do it in Twitch chat. If you guys have questions on his idea, I can't really just copy paste it, but I think I did a pretty good, kind of super baseline of what he does. You take 20 minutes too? Whoa, that's a lot, man. I really thought you did like just big bulks. 20 minutes. I'm kind of surprised how that's how long it takes for you. I'm actually genuinely surprised. All right, but feel free to please ask Primus about his operations there, and hopefully we can get a few more investors here. That'd be awesome. But we do have one more person that we want to show some support for. That's got an upcoming operation, not quite ready yet, but I'll at least put his name in. You can find him in Discord and SEC Lounge under this name. It's Batuga. All right, so he's got one. I started reading what his proposals are. So he's one of the few that actually do proposals. I love this guy. I love this guy. He actually does proposals. I can't go into the full details because he hasn't really revealed it. I just know that he does have an operation coming up, and not only is he preparing a proper proposal for it, but he's also preparing like testimonials. So I think that's super cool, man. I really hope he doesn't do it just in our Discords. Hopefully he actually does it in market forums so that people can kind of see and kind of have an idea of, well, that was a really good product there. That should, that's a good standard to have in market forums as far as when you're trying to sell an idea, right? All right, so I think that was really good shield time. That was really good. I definitely want to continue doing shield time, to be all honest. To be honest with you guys, because there's not a lot of shows like ours. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of like market shows. There's like us, the Lone Wolf, and like Lockfox when he was still doing it. Dude, that's not that many of us. There's not that many of us. All right, so it's good to. Hey, Gil, what's up, buddy? All right, so I think it's time to actually run through our calls for the week. Perfect. So we're going to start off for our buys of the week. And our first one is Plex. I'm not sure if the sales will go. I think it's done. All right, so this is what Plex looks like right now, and I'm calling it as a buy. I think it's a bit of a late buy, but I think you can still capture it at the bottom end. Now, it's a very traditional buy signal because you got the lower moving average, which is the 5-day moving average, the blue line, under the 20-day moving average, which is the orange line. All right, so that's a buy signal. The blue line is about to go up and actually cross above the 20-day moving average. When that happens, now it becomes a sell signal. So right now, I think we're kind of at the verge of that transition. All right. If you can capture Plex at between 2.7 and 2.8 million a piece, I think you're going to be in good shape. I think you're going to be in good shape. Right now, it's sitting. It's actually sitting at a hard 2.8. I think. Well, it's almost 1900 ETH time right now. I think on sometime throughout the day you might be able to capture 2.7, but I think the pricing that's steadily going up is a good sign that's about to flip as a buy or a sell. So right now may be good, but let's play it out. Let's play it. So let's say you get it right now, 2.8. Okay, let's say you get it at 2.8. I think it's pretty reasonable for you to get this 2.95 to 3 mil. Let's do a quick math on that. It's 5%. 5% on something with a volume of crossing 2 million units traded daily. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, 5%. Now, mind you, you can buy and sell this quite comfortably in one of the near, very low tax rate market citadels around JITA. So you're getting really close to that 5% net. So that's always good. But you can always buy it in place the buy order from the low tax citadels and sell it in JITA proper. You can, but it's actually just as I think it's just as good actually to do the buying and the selling those low tax citadels, because a lot of people do realize that they are available there for buying and selling. Shin says he's got 500 Plex. What's the best price to sell it at? I think you can definitely hit 2.95 if not 3 mil. In all honesty, I think you can hit 2.95 if not 3 mil. So you're looking at least a 5% gain. It's not going to be instantaneous, but I'm pretty sure you can get it done in about 1.5 to 2 months. Depending on the volume that you're playing, 5%, that can be a lot, man. That can really be a lot. All right, so now let's move on to our next call, which is skill injectors advise. We're calling out both types of skill injectors here, both sizes of skill injectors. So that's what the large skill injector looks like. We're just going to look at the picture of the charts right now, then we're going to talk about the actual price points. So that's what the large skill injector is right now. And that's what the small skill injector looks like right now. Very similar appearance, right? Shin's like, the only issue is I'm in solitude. Bro, why are you in solitude? That's like the most... Alright, and we're back. Oh my god. Crash number 2. Jesus. Alright, so we're looking at skill injectors. So they are both trending downwards, the large and the small. But I'm not quite sure what the floor is. So that's kind of tricky. That's going to be real tricky. I think, so let's look at the large first. I think most, the large scale injector is like one of those big money plays, man. It's really a big money play. Right now, just looking at the chart, it looks like it's still got some room to go down. So let me explain why. Or let me explain that by the appearance of the chart. So we have a traditional sell signal, okay? I'm sorry, buy signal rather, sorry. We got the 5-day moving average trending downwards, which is below the 20-day moving average, which is also trending downwards. Then you got this little dot right here. And those little dots are, it says median price when you look at the in-game chart market window, but it's actually a mean. All right, it's actually a mean average, all right? Not a median. It's below the 5-day moving average. And it's continuing to trend downwards as well. It hasn't quite hit a floor yet. So if you're looking to buy large scale injectors on the cheap, I think you're gonna see the appearance of a floor as soon as the Plex switches. When the Plex switches to sell signal, I think you're gonna start seeing the development of a floor for the large scale injectors. Shin says, so quick question, are you saying low blue line is buy and high blue is sell? That's a quick way to think about it. Yeah, that's one indicator. That interaction of the moving averages as an indicator, that's one of them. Yeah, definitely. There's only so many technical work we can do on the charts in game, unfortunately. But in a way that kind of makes it easy because there's only so much we can do. So I think you're gonna start seeing a floor on the large scale injectors as soon as the Plex starts increasing in value and starts showing buy signals. When that is, who knows? Maybe tomorrow, maybe this week sometime. Who knows? All right, but I think that kind of interaction is something worth looking into. Okay, let's look at the small. The small kind of hit the floor already. The floor was 150 mil. Let's see where it's at right now. Oh man, I'd buy this right now. I would legit buy this right now. Admiral Albar says, so you're saying not to freak out yet on skill injectors? No, don't freak out yet, bro. If anything, be prepared to buy a ton of them. So are you looking to like offload for cash, or are you looking to actually just manage them as hard assets, Admiral? Because if you have a lot and they're about to be sellable in the next, I don't know, at least 3 weeks, something like that, maybe even less. Depending on how much it costs you, man, you're looking at a killing, man. You're looking at a killing. If you're a buyer and seller, you know, in the context of a skill farm, I think you're gonna be in good shape. I think you're gonna be in real good shape, Admiral. I think you'll be all right. Just be mindful, you know, whatever methodology you apply, right? Just as long as it makes sense, you'll be okay. But as far as small scale injector, I think it hit the floor. I think it hit the floor at 150. If you're able to buy it now, then I really don't believe in my emotions. But yeah, I mean, I myself have never done the skill farm thing, so I don't know at what scale you guys really play in. I honestly don't know your scale, but from an outsider, I imagine that it's a very large scale. Like large enough to buy CSM votes. And maybe even become an influential part of that scene in the future. Just saying. Alright, hey Bargos, some skill farms have 500 plus characters. Bro, that's insane. I can't imagine. That's a lot of clicking, man. That's a lot of clicking. Like you would need a bot to manage that, I would think. Like in all honesty. Just saying. Bargo's like, a lot I know are holding onto injectors. Yeah, they're holding onto it. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in selling them if they're low. I mean, it's about to be sell season here pretty soon. So, now mind you, probably the quickest and most historically accurate way to think about it, more or less, is in the long run, the relationship between the injectors, small and large, and plex are actually inverse of each other. If one's going up, the other one's going down. If one's going up, the other's going down. All right. It's uncommon for them to be sharing the same pattern. They do because they eventually have to kind of cross. All right, that's kind of how it works. But just know that part. You know, they behave inverse of each other for the most part. All right. So let's move on next to 250 millimeter railgun 2s. Man, it's so rare that I call Tech 2 items. So rare. Because I got burnt so many times on them. And it's like an emotional thing. It's one of those like, man, I'd rather not. Man, I'd rather not. It's a floor, man. It's a hard floor. It's a hard floor right now. Which I find this super interesting. Gil says, why don't you trade Jump Raiders, Black Ops, and Marauders? I used to when I had the cash. I definitely did. I did Marauders for sure. That was an easy 10%. Easy 10. Easy 10. Jump Raiders and Black Ops. I think I've done Black Ops a few times, but it takes a while for people. Like most people aren't keen on dumping that on buy orders. No, they're not keen at all on doing that. So they're not interested in doing that. They would sit on that on sell, you know. But for some reason, Marauders, I'm surprised how often I would actually capture Marauders from buy orders. Strangest thing. It's the strangest thing, you know. But right now, Admiral Akbar says, Fed Up moved out to fight a war. Awesome. So if you move him out to stack money and talk, you can make some dough. There you go, bud. There you go. There you go. But back to the 250 millimeter railgun 2s, looks like a hard floor, and people are kind of just dumping it because there isn't a change in volume, as you can see. Not so much. Not really a change in volume, but it's continuing to trend downwards, and it's kind of hit the floor, a floor of just under 2 mil. And it's always kind of exciting when the moving averages get closer and closer and closer, because it's only one of three things will happen. They're just going to keep moving sideways, it's going to go up, or it's going to go down. You know, but something's going to happen. More than like, very rare does it actually continue to just go sideways. Sometimes it just hits a proper supply and demand and material cost and sell price equilibrium that makes it just go sideways. But it takes a lot of good things to happen in a row for that to happen, you know. So typically it will switch. So this might be on its way up, maybe. But from a charts perspective, I'm not gonna be able to tell you if that's the case due to a war item demand. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. But if you can get this under 2 mil, I think you're gonna be in good shape for maybe a 30-day play. Dude, I would totally put buy orders. I would totally put buy orders. 1.8, yeah, man. If you get it to 1.8, even if you were to do 10% of the daily volume, actually, that's not too. You're not gonna hit 2. Let's say you capture. Just be conservative. Let's say 100. You captured at 1.8, and then you sell it for, I don't know, 2.2. Let's do quick math on that. It's 22% gain, man. 22% gain on something that is well needed for Ferox doctrines. Bro, saying. Nullsec likes Feroxes. Legacy likes Feroxes. Like a lot of our calls are actually like doctrine stuff. Like legit. A lot of our calls are doctrine stuff. Alright, so that's that, and we're gonna follow that up with the hull that is normally used with, which is the Ferox. Margo says, quick question. When placing buy orders with range, are people able to sell stuff to me in private structures? Placing buy orders with range, are people able to sell stuff to you in private? I'm not so sure about private structures because I don't really work in private structures. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not sure what the answer is to your question. Oh, looks like Gil says no. Can't happen. Citadels, man. Citadels. Madness. Ferox. They can only sell in stations, I think. That sounds about right if it's private. So Ferox has hit a trading channel. Very similar to kind of just going sideways in trade channel. No big change in volume though. This one's kind of off. It does that every now and again. So a big spike of something. I think this is just a regular trade channel. By trade channel, I mean it's just a set ceiling and a set floor. For whatever reason, it's just behaving. It's found this equilibrium at that range. 37 to let's be generous, 41. 37 to 41 of a trade channel. Buy at 37 mil, sell at 40 or 41 rather. 10%, man. 10% at what volume? Sub 100. I'll show you a better play. You capture Feroxes at buy order and you import them to the war zone. By the war zone, I mean not low sec, not our beloved low sec war zone, but where big coalitions are having fights. Because like Ferox is a night, you know, a lot of people go to Feroxes because it's a good mid, you know, it allows people to participate in the content and still have some appreciable effect on the conflict, you know. So that's what I would do. Like putting on my Drum Freighter market seeder hat, I would actually place, assuming it stays at this floor, I would actually be active in placing and maintaining Ferox buy orders with the intent of selling them to places like Catcher and Mensing. That's what I would do. Also what I would do. And a lot of my corp mates and alliance mates have actually been doing that. All right, so those are buys for the week. All right. Next, we're going to go over our sells. So another key ship that's used a lot in nullsec is the Maelstrom. We love the Maelstrom. Love it, love it, love it. So these are sells. Yeah, you should really sell Maelstroms. Y'all should really, really sell Maelstroms. It's a hot item right now. Super hot. Super hot. So going back to kind of some our quick chart work here. So we got the 5-day moving average above the 20-day moving average. And the median is actually sitting, and the median average is actually sitting above those trend lines. So this actually has to potentially have room to go up still. So what does that? How does that actually play out for something that's low volume like battleships? What the best way to explain that basically is they get overbought at times throughout the day at a much faster pace than people are seeding them, even with the knowledge that they're actually going up in price. So if you're someone that can basically cherry pick your spot on when to place your Maelstroms, that might be a good play for you. If you have the ability to actually babysit, sell order Maelstroms, you're gonna be in good shape. Now, how sustainable is that from a like, can I do this forever? Like, no, you can't do this forever because it looks like it's already cresting. It looks like it's already cresting. So maybe in the next 2 days, if that's up, you could probably do it in the weekend. If you can do this over the weekend, I think you'll be in good shape. You'll be in real good shape. But let's take a look anyway. So so with this kind of picture, I would say it's actually difficult to capture this on buys. This is like a producer's setup. If you can produce the Maelstroms instead of relying on buy orders and then dumping them into sell, I think you'll be in good shape. Because capturing it at 165, that seems that's quite high actually. So that tells me that people are competing at the buy orders, but it's not getting filled. That's what it's telling me. 174, 165 for battleships for a 5% gain. That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. But something tells me that that used to be a lot bigger until the gap got narrower and narrower because people were saying, I want to capture milestones on buy orders and resell them because it looks really good right now. But then people aren't selling to buy orders because it looks really good right now. It's one of those things. All right, next one, Vector Navy issue. This is such an insta call, such an insta call. Oh yeah, dude. So it's kind of like the same thing. People are competing really hard on the buy orders, and it's making the gap between buy and sell super narrow to the point of it's not even worth flipping. So Vector Navy issue right now I would say is not worth flipping, but if you have the LP to convert into Vector Navy issues, I think you're gonna be okay, assuming you're okay with that LP to ISK exchange rate. Okay, because the exchange rate isn't a standard number, because the LP, the way you get the LP will determine how much effort you placed on actually farming said LP. Okay? So it's at a really high plateau right now, but it looks like it's trending downwards. But I think that's more to kind of just mess around with the floor, not so much as oh my god, the Vector Navy issues are crashing in price. They're not crashing in price. They're not. I'm gonna tell her right no. I'm gonna go on record to say that right now. The Vector Navy issues are not crashing in price. All right, it's fixing itself. Don't worry about it. Yeah, if you have the LP, if you're a Galante faction warfare person like me. Oh, look at that. Primus, yeah, QQ mods. If anyone wants mass Vietnam VPCs, hit them up. There you go. Get your infinite VNIs. Infinite AFK VNIs for nullsec. That sounds good, bro. That sounds really good. Alright, but sells for Vector Navy issue. Super easy call. Alright. And our last call for sells, nano factories. Oh, we'll call them NAN factories. Not Nan the bread, actually nano factory. PI, baby. Can't believe I didn't catch that. Embarrassing. Alright, so it just goes through these dips and crescents, man. Dips and crescents. Right now, nano factories are up. And if you got them, if you can sell them, if it's sitting in your customs office, you might want to go sell these nano factories before they go on before they go under. You know what I mean? Because it looks incredibly cyclical, right, in the last 3 months. Because we always look at a 9-day view. Very cyclical. It's very nice and neat. It looks like it's cresting on the sell side right now. If you don't act quickly, you may have to wait another cycle in order for it to go back up. So there's that. JK Rat says, hey, what's up, man? Looking at trade as an avenue, you might try. Just basic hauling at the moment. And if you're already hauling, you might as well trade. Very close. You know, they're two very related activities, because I do it, you know, but now when I haul a null sec, so it's a little different, right? Jump fader dude. So but hauling between low sec, border, you know, kind of combat zones is nice too. You know, that's what I used to do, right? All right, so definitely a sell on the nano factories. I think it's a very short window because that looks like it's about to go the other way. All right. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. So there's that. I think that was a great first show. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Sorry about the OBS crashing. I'm not sure if it needs an update or something like that. I literally got my desktop back from the moving services like less than a week ago. So hopefully it just needs I may need a new hub or something or other. Maybe, we'll see. All right, thank you very much, Shane. Appreciate it, man. So this is gonna be our normal time. Of course, outside of work activities that require me to not be here. All right. For the most part, this actually is a really good schedule for me because I actually take Spanish classes. Taking Spanish classes in Spain, it's different, man. It's different. So if I can just take just a few minutes to talk about like my experiences so far here in Spain. I don't know if we have any Spaniards in the stream right now. If there is, man, we should totally do an Eve meet. I'm just saying. But if you guys have never been to Spain, it's nice. This time is good. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. It's not so hot yet. It's getting there. Oh, UK. There you go. Oh yeah, the time. Yeah, for yeah. I'm not used to actually seeing consistent. Usually I see like sub 10, but then a lot of people will kind of catch it on the YouTube, right? But it's really cool to see live audience. So I think EUTZ works really well for streaming games in general, MMOs in general, right? But being here in Spain, I'm gonna be here for a while. It's just me. My family's not here with me. It's just me for work. But really enjoy it. The people are so warm. The people are so good. It's like even though I'm coming from the Midwest, it's like the people here are nice. The people are super nice. Like greet each other. Like who greets each other in the States? Nobody. God, nobody. All right, but really enjoying it here. The food is awesome. I was super surprised that Spanish food isn't spicy. That really threw me for a loop. It really threw me for a loop that Spanish food is not spicy. Like, because I guess I was thinking like Mexican is spicy, you know? Hey, oh, Texas, that's what's up. That's true. Texas are super nice. That's actually true. I take that back. Texas are super nice. Yep. True. True. But here it's like total strangers just greeting each other. Hi, buenos dias. Good morning. Hola. Hey. Total strangers. Like, wow. That is cool. That is cool. I feel super like I live in the city and it's like super safe. I feel super safe at least. You know. I walk everywhere. Like this is why like Europeans are hot. I think this is why Europeans are hot. They walk everywhere. These guys walk everywhere. Like it's more of a hassle to have a car. I honestly think it's more of a hassle to have a car. It's crazy. Let's see what else. Language barrier. It's definitely become less of a barrier for me, you know. But it's I'm getting there. Once I get good enough, I think in like a month or two, I think I can do super basic talking about this kind of stream in Spanish. That would be so cool if I could do like a Spanish like Eve market thing. I'm even if not a lot of people watch it, just this like that I would do it just for the sheer purpose of Spanish practice. I'm not gonna lie, I'd do it for that to be honest. Maybe it could be like a straight to YouTube type thing, you know.